Okay. Here. Turn volume. I don't think that's on. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Need my music. My hacker music. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I want to show, I'm going to generate a LiveView native application first with 0.4.0-rc.1 and then show the upgrade for RC1. Alright, so I'm just going to create a new Phoenix app and I'll call it Upgrader. I like that. Oh, I wonder if I can use that for something. Upgrader. I'll pass on installing dependencies. Here and then here. Alright, so edit mix. Actually, I'm gonna increase this a bit. Probably because it's too small. Screen. Alright. I'm gonna add the 0.4.0-rc.1 dependencies. If 0.4.0-rc.0. And need a style sheet. Quick UI. And I've. Alright, so style sheet actually has to change here. This needs to be 0.3.2. Reason for that was we in RC0 of LiveView native, there were some breaking changes that came about when I was doing the style sheet conversion over to JSON. So for past few years, actually no, we haven't style sheets. So past year we've had style sheet. They've been emitted in Elixir literals, but there are some good reasons why we don't want to do that, because client runtimes may not have a great or any Elixir parser, and that puts a lot of basically just makes building a LiveView native client more difficult than it needs to be. Also, whatever parsers may exist are most likely slower at parsing than parsing JSON on whatever language. Like Kotlin, for example, didn't have a good Elixir parser, and so Nelson was writing a. There was a partial implementation in Antler, I think, is what he was using in the Jetpack client, and we found like a whole bunch of just Elixir syntax that just wasn't being parsed correctly. I can't recall which syntax though. Thankfully, Nelson actually had a lot of experience at, I forget which project it was previously, but writing Antler parsers. So he was able to fix that for us. But he was also the one advocating most heavily to move over to JSON, the style sheets. And so, anyway, long story short, or other way around, short story long. In 0.4.0-rc.0, the JSON parsing effort had started. The JSON style sheet encoding. And some things that style sheet depends upon in LiveView native changed. I think mostly just due to refactor, and I just didn't feel like supporting both. And so we did not have the JSON decoder ready. The style sheet decoder for the JSON format ready for 0.4.0 in the SwiftUI client. That in part was due to some more, I'd say, vetting on our end to ensure that we were getting the AST representation correct. But Carson also took the opportunity to completely rewrite the modifier CodeGen subsystem, which is it was a huge lift. The trade-off is that we got delayed on release, but the upside is we now can CodeGen, I think, effectively every single modifier in SwiftUI, whereas before we were limited to like 85 to 90%, I believe, and we kind of punted on those other ones because they were just too strange to represent. But in addition to that, how we could call the modifiers and which arguments we could pass in, there was always some limit on the previous modifier CodeGen, and now I believe that we're able to effectively represent every modifier, like all the constructors. And in Swift, you can overload the constructor for a modifier. Well, I mean for every struct. The modifiers aren't structs, right? I think they're just function calls. Anyway, you can no, they're actually are they object classes? They are. Yeah. So anyway, you can override all of them. You can overload them. I just saying override. Overload the functions. The constructor for the all constructors in Swift. Well, in this case, the modifiers being overloaded were more difficult to represent on the previous modifier CodeGen, I believe, is what the issue was. So we can do a lot more now. Anyway, we didn't want to hold up RC0, and so we ended up releasing style sheet 0.3.2, which allowed for it to be compatible with 0.4.0 LiveView native. Fortunately, 0.4.0 LiveView native is not compatible with Phoenix LiveView 1.0.2 or greater, and so we have to downgrade LiveView here. Reason for that is I'm kind of drawing outside the lines in terms of the API that I technically should be using, but there's just things within LiveView itself that in order for LiveView native to do everything it needed to do, it had to use the module doc false, semi-private things within LiveView. And because that is not considered public API, we're subject to potentially breaking. But we needed to do these things and, basically write our own versions of those in order to get the library done. And then I think that once we kind of stabilize on it, the discussion then hopefully with the LiveView team is saying, hey, can we open up this public API or think about how to make public API to do this? So it's kind of, a little bit of limitation for now. We're going to find, I think, more breaking changes coming at some point where the point releases. Could break things. And so when that does happen, we may actually end up changing Phoenix LiveView native LiveView constraint to be like a hard constraint against a specific version, or don't go above a specific version we know is working. That way, even if a patch release comes out that you may want to opt into, you have to explicitly override. So anyway, all right, so we got this here. Let's do Jeez, what is going on? Load the damn prompt. Hasty function set. What? I don't know. Oh. Next steps. Why is it when I'm on stream now my computer decides that it needs to go slow? I don't know if that's I think that's a network thing. Yeah, I know I'm streaming, but I also have 500 up and down. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna run mix lvn.setup.fig. So I bought a Mac Mini, and I'm gonna set it up. I think I'm gonna try to use it for a few different things. I'm gonna start playing with local AI models, and set up. What's the name of it now? Miguel shared it in Dockyard Slack the other day, where it's it's like it's a local server you can run that hosts a web application that I believe can be backed by any open source language model. And then it has an interface very similar to Chat GPT. So yeah, it seems like it's going to be fairly easy to plug in as long as whatever I download I got enough memory for on the device. I bought the top Mac Mini, and then I mean I could have waited like 2 goddamn weeks, because then new Mac Studio came out. What's under here? Yeah. I should have probably just waited for this. God, alright, so it's configured as like 80 GPUs or something. What I'm kind of confused over though is why the M3 Ultra, maybe because more cores, like why it's nearly $2,000 more here. Is that simply because of the cores? Like, wouldn't the M4 Max be better? Maybe a better chipset? Like, in other words, if I can oh, you can only go up to 80 cores, the M3 Ultra. You get 40 GPUs though for how much? $499. You get 80 GPUs for $5,500. That's crazy. I mean, well, here's where it gets you, right? 112 gigabytes. It jumped the price by how much? $4,000. Anyway, this came out just today, I think, or yesterday. Anyway, I got the Mac Mini, and let's see here. I think I got this one. Wait, got the M4. I think I got the Pro. Wait, did that do? Oh, that just came out or not. I think I got this. With I got a 24. No, it's only 10 core, 24 cores. Maybe 16 cores. Very confused. I could have sworn there was one with 24 cores. Oh, 20 core. Okay, so this is the one I did. Only 64 gigabytes of memory. Yeah, that's probably actually the most limiting part of getting the Mac Mini. And the price is fine, but for okay, so this is $2,200. What was the Mac Studio at? So core Omari at the 10,000 one. I'll go this one right here. That's where the memory is what really kills you. That's roughly the same price, right? It was 2,500 or something. Anyway, back to Elixir. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Oh, yeah, let's. I should probably add in something to have it just go through, like dash skip. Maybe. All right. All right. So now, if I go to, all right. So I don't need to like really do much else here because the application's up and running. Sorry, the application is installed. I can add like a, view in, I guess, but it's not really a live view either. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just get like a basic thing going. All right, so what we're gonna do here is mix lvn.gen live Swift UI. I wonder if it's OBS. Like, this is taking forever. What is going on? What the hell? Oh, that's what I wanted to say is that I got the Mac Mini in part 2 so I could stream from it. Or rather, maybe I can run my development environment on a different machine and then share that screen to this machine. Because OBS just seems to absolutely destroy my CPUs. There's no reason why that should take us long. Try again. Oh God. What the fuck is going on? Is Spotlight indexing my goddamn computer right now? I mean, it's not 80%, whatever. It's not horrible. Oh, you know what? It's probably doing it too. I'm making it better. I have another ghostly session running. Got a bunch of things. Alright, so I've actually found that NVIM tends to be a bit of a resource hog as well. Don't pay attention to this project. Building a web browser. No, sir. Headless. But it's called Crane. I called it Crane, and then I was like, oh yeah, Crane, headless horseman. Then like 2 days later, I was like, well, he wasn't the headless horseman. He was the guy being tortured by the headless horseman. Let's see. Right. It's a fun project, but I really don't mind. Super serial on there. All right. All right. See it go now. Faster? That was much faster. Okay. All right, so we're gonna add a live view in here. Live dot. What? is such hot garbage. I'm sorry, I complain about it all the time, but whatever the hell he is doing in there with making my text jump around like that, I hope it is Lecture LSP, because otherwise it's something jerk off right now, but I don't know. Kind of works sometimes, doesn't work most of the time, and it seems to get in the way all the time. Alright, so I got everything. Nope. Upper creator. Creator native. Oh, I didn't spell native right. Oh, did it not? Okay, so this is the error with Phoenix LiveView greater than 1.02 and did 1.05, so I must have not done my constraint properly. Oh yeah, alright, so let's do this. Yeah. I thought you just unlocked it. Alright. So anyway, if you see this error here, this tokenizer error, this is because of Phoenix LiveView, the conflict 0.4.0-rc.1. It's fixed in RC1, but C1. And I did not notice Phoenix LiveView 0.5 come out. 1.05, so let me see what happened there. Let's see. What's the name? 1.10. One was white space. Raised by default in LiveView tested. It's already there. Let's see. You know what's kind of annoying about the LiveView project is that it doesn't tag. Sorry, the tags for some reason don't come down in the Git repo. I don't know why. So if I were to do here and Git tags, let's use Git X. So no tags. Wait, there we are. What the hell? Did I just not click on that before? Oh no, like there's a bunch of tags missing. That's what it is. And so like there's no like 1.0.0 tag, for example, right? Or 1.0.1, 1.0.2. I don't know why these don't get pulled down. Anyway, did I actually send this out? Alright, maybe I don't care. Where's watching? Watching. Alright. That 37 people watching. I never get this. I don't know if that means 37 people have watched it total. Wait, that's supposed to be a 0.4. Oh, did it install? Hold on. Did I just waste a bunch of time and installed like 0.4.0, rc 0, that error. That is supposed to be in 0.4. That should be in 0.4.0 rc1. Yeah, that's there. Why? What the hell? All right, so this should have been. This looks like it installed rc1. Oh, you know what I guarantee happened was when I generated it, it was okay. You know what? All right, I know what happened. All right, let's do this. If we undo this. And I'll do mix deps dot off all deps get. So I think that the installed rc1 of LiveView native. Yep. All right. So when I generated the app, it did rc.1. All right. Awesome. I just burned a ton of time. All right. Like 30 minutes into this already, and I haven't even got the goddamn thing generated. I'll regenerate all this now. Next. Lvn dot setup fig. That was very confusing. I like my hair right here, right? Feels so strange. Alright, so now alright, yep. Alright, get rid of everything. Okay. Alright, so now this should have updated this. Right, okay, so that's all. Nope, that's not correct. That's the wrong app anyway. This one. So that should have. Let's see here. All right. Not. Should go over in these. I think it's doing RC1 because it's okay because we have a from in there. Yeah. All right. So I'll just do exact version on this. Alright, so I believe that's going to be all the correct versions. Let's see. Just tell me the full thing. Alright, and let's make sure that this compiles. Yep, that seems fine. Let's see here. Host this. That. Ready for me to do. That's fine there. Almost looks like the rubber didn't get updated. Oh, I didn't, rather didn't get updated because I didn't actually tell it where to go. Okay. And we'll bump this up a bit. So this is all fine. Here we go. And pull this up. Look at the. It looks like a literal version of the style sheet. Okay, so we got that going. See how this is doing. All right, it's all downgraded now. Good. Not going to run the server. Sorry, I'm not going to run the client because it'll just take too long to compile. But what we will do now is upgrade from 0.4.0-rc.1 to rc.1. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I will undo that constraint, but then I'll explicitly set these. LiveView native style sheet should be rc.1 as well. And we'll do the mixed steps unlock. All right, so I'm going to run you through everything that you're probably going to experience, and then we can, fix it together. So if you run mixphx.server, this is going to crash because of an arity issue, core components file. That's most likely to be the first one to crash out. Once it compiles. All right, so see here, I don't know if I buffer will go back that far, but previously we were seeing the opposite issue. We were seeing arity of 2, cannot declare input/2 for arity of 1, and now it's flipped. And the reason for that is in LiveView native 0.4.0 starting RC1, we now make function components arity 2, meaning that the interface object is passed in to to all function components, and regardless of their depth being called between either live components or if a function component, when it calls a function component and so on, then templates, the interface object gets passed all the way down. This allows you to call the if interface, actually the if interface, or I think it's just if interface, on the, actually, no, I'm gonna get that wrong. So let me just see right here. Here it is. So we have this special attribute on templates now, and it allows you to find it's here maybe. No. It allows you to basically conditionally render out that element in its children depending upon an interface value. I definitely documented it. don't know where. Cast. Wait, what's on that game? Oh, not that one. Render. No. Again. Go parser. No. What should I put it on? On it? Yeah. Okay, so format specific function component. No. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's under the sigil LVN macro. Okay, so it's just colon interface dash. So similar to like the data dash attribute in HTML, and whatever you put after the dash is like the key. We do the same thing here. So interface dash target, you can reference any key on the interface object and then compare it to a value here. It works pretty well. I mean, this is effectively what it gets expanded to right here. All right. Anyway, to fix that, you could run lvn setup gen, but let's assume for a moment that you've been updating your components file, and you don't want to lose that. So, quick thing to do would be a document-wide search and replace. So we're going to do assigns, and then close parentheses and replace it with assigns, underscore interface, close parentheses. Now there's one function where this actually doesn't work, and it's def input, the top one. We have multiple input functions, but within this one, we basically call the child. Call it again. So now we want to pass interface into this. All right, so now that should be fine. And also, if you like, so up here, if your LiveView, like if your LiveView native render component had, like, you know, like this in here. This and right, whatever. Now you have to add this. If you don't, what you're going to find is that it's going to complain in the same manner, but for this function instead, the components one. So now compile. We'll complain that function, okay, clock2 didn't even exist, because it doesn't, because it's looking for a function of variable 2. Let's just remove that, so I don't think it got even to the compilation of this yet. That's supposed to complain. Alright, I can look into that. Alright, anyway. We did see it on the failure to reference the function, at least. Okay, so undefined CSRF token 2, and that's because it is being deprecated. So if you were to go up to your layouts, SwiftUI, and into the root, you're just basically going to change this to a CSRF token element, and the value is index.controller.getCSRF token. I think that's it. Yep. So those are the just a few things that you need to update on for RC0. That warning is going to complain about this right here. oh, sorry. Now warning is going to complain in here, def layouts, and we want that. Now, file should be clean. No, why? I just removed it. Saves. Why was that? So this one here, this calls the format operator. I'm not calling it anywhere, right? So this will call the upgrader native layout function, which is right here. This should not be importing anything now. Okay, look into that too. That's odd. Where is that referenced at all? Web. In effect. No idea. All right. So I see here, I'm going to show the style sheet now. So remember, this is Elixir literal, and this is for RC0. Now this is all JSON, and this is for RC1. And server should still be just fine. And now over here on the client, we're going to update these. So we're going to give it RC1 here and then RC1 here. This is going to remove a couple dependencies because what we're doing is we're moving more functionality into LiveView native core. This is going to update to I think RC-2 maybe. And as we continue to develop core, we're effectively moving more and more things within the SwiftUI client, putting it into core. And these are things that have nothing to do with SwiftUI. They're really just kind of everything that a client needs to connect to a LiveView endpoint that is kind of isolated away from the client implementation. In other words, the UI framework or the client runtime. So this means that building other clients becomes much easier because we have a single API that this dependency can be referenced. And that includes the network connections, so like the regular HTTP requests, and then the socket setup, and then all the LiveView actual kind of architecture and client stuff. So at that point, it's just like the view tree is sent over Unify to, in this case, SwiftUI client, and then events get emitted back to LiveView native core. Okay, so that installs RC1, RC2 of LiveView native core, RC1 of LiveView. All right, so what I'm going to try to do now is compile this, and it's probably going to complain because of the macro stuff has to be enabled. Yep, so here's one. Oh, not from, no, I don't want to put it on my phone. So we expect this to bomb because of the macro stuff that we'll trust and enable in a minute, and then we'll redo we'll recompile it, get it running. And I want to show the well, I guess the navigation improvements, and I can show like the before. You don't need to go back to the prior client. It's just that in order to get the better navigation, you have to add another template. So I can show what we were previously at, and then show where we're at now. Oh, this is going to take a while. That's kind of the frustrating part on working on LiveView Native. Well, sorry, no, that's not LiveView Native Dig. The frustrating part of working with Xcode is the compilation times. It's annoying is that I know it's going to actually fail to build because I have to trust and enable all the macros. And why is it on this one? I could have sworn I chose. I did chose Bessie. Okay, whatever. Oh, I'm gonna change it now. Sure, there's a way to push that trust and enable up front, because you have to let it compile or attempt to compile and then fail, and then you enable the macros, and then you recompile. It's like a waste of time. Come on. It's probably even worse with OBS, actually. Yeah. This is the annoying thing about streaming for iPhone development. You know, I'm not gonna blame Apple on that one. I think this is OBS's fault. Let's see what it's maxing my machine out at. CPU load. What is that? Median, whatever. Swift. Yeah, so I don't know how long this is gonna take. All right, I think then I'm gonna cut this short. I'll prepare another stream in the next few days. Probably have the client all recompiled beforehand, rather than burning another 30 minutes waiting for this to compile on the wrong device. But I'm gonna probably edit the like the 5-minute actual useful part of this into a more concise video and put it on YouTube. Anyway. And all right, goodbye.